Howdy hey gang. Keybinds, to help you play your games. Pretty cool, right? When it comes to PC games and especially first-person shooters, knowing your binds is important. Swapping to the right weapon at the right time will make the difference between surviving an encounter or restarting from the beginning. Not just with weapons, but binds for movement can be just as important, especially in this age of higher mobility shooters like ULTRAKILL and Doom Eternal. From casual play to speedrunning to horde modes to challenge runs and maybe even multiplayer modes, having a set of custom keybinds can allow for more comfort and give you better control over how you move and fight. Let's talk about it for a moment and why you should try customizing your controls. Let's take a look at ULTRAKILL. Big surprise. I've heavily customized my binds for this game. Starting with the weapons, I have my revolvers on 2, shotguns on Q, nailgun on C, rail cannon on R, and rocket launcher on 3. So, why are these all spread out? While they aren't all in a line 1 through 5, these keys are only one space away from where my fingers are naturally resting. This means I can put less effort into trying to reach for specific weapons in the heat of combat, and I can easily slide my finger right over and back in an instant. I keep my movement controls fairly standard, save for 2 keybinds, Whiplash and Slide. If you play with default binds, you'll know that the Whiplash goes to R normally. Since I put my rail cannon there, I needed to move it somewhere else, and that place was the middle mouse button. This is very convenient for me, since my middle finger is already resting on top of it. Slide is probably the biggest change. I have it on the side of my mouse, M4, right where my thumb naturally rests. The principle is the same. It's a more comfortable spot for my hand. On my keyboard, left control is a huge stretch from where my hand naturally rests, making it uncomfortable, especially with how often sliding and slamming is used in a game like ULTRAKILL. Now, I know a large part of you are probably younger than I am, and maybe this doesn't bother you at all, but as a guy who will be turning 30 next year, it puts a lot of stress in my old man hands. Just above where I bound the slide button is M5. This is where I bound my change fist button.
As of the recent 14D update, the player now has a choice to either use the fist swap button or to bind a specific fist to a specific key. Since this update came out, I've put my knuckle blaster on M5 and I've switched the feedbacker to F.
So, those are my binds. And if you can see the running theme here, it's comfort and ease of access. I think having binds that don't put stress on your hands and your wrists allows you to go for longer play sessions. Just enough for one more run to get that new PB. You also get a better sense of control in this way. You may be less likely to hit the wrong keys if you have your binds spread to individual keys around your hand as opposed to the line of numbers. And if you noticed, I hadn't brought up the scroll wheel function for weapons, and that's because I don't use it. I dislike using it. And that's because with the scroll, you might not need to reach for a key, but you could just as easily miss the weapon you need. In my opinion, using the scroll wheel sacrifices precise control for ease of access. It's a give and take situation. Now, this isn't to say you can't play well with the scroll wheel. I have friends that play very well at games that use it. But for myself, it's sacrificing too much control. If you were to use custom binds instead, you could have incredibly precise control and comfort. Although there are some games that allow you to rebind the mouse scroll wheel. In Doom Eternal, for example, you can rebind scroll up and scroll down to specific weapons. I have the heavy cannon bound to up on the scroll wheel, and I have the ballista bound to down on the scroll wheel. Now, if you've not played with custom binds in a game before and you want to experiment with them, which I highly recommend, I suggest that you do a few keys at a time instead of all of them at once. After a few hours of playtime, you'll be surprised how quickly you can pick up the new muscle memory. Of course, not using custom binds is fine too. You don't need them to become a top-tier player, and you're not worse or better for using them or not using them at all. You would be surprised how games can play a lot more smoothly once when you do customize your binds though. And I use custom binds in basically every single game I play now. Well, I hope this was insightful for you all, and I highly recommend you at least give it a shot. If you don't like it, you can always go back to the way things were and just hit that nice reset to defaults button. Take care everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.